He is a two-time national champion. He is a U.S. Olympic swimmer, and he's a University of Texas at Austin athlete. He's David Johnston, one of my good friends, and we've been talking about doing this for a while, David. So, hey, good to see you, and glad we can make this work out. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm great. Good to see you, Cameron. Really excited to speak with you today and glad we can do it on air.
Yeah, so first off, congratulations on your national championship, your second national championship. You won one as a freshman in 2021. You won one in 2025. And going into the event, it felt like it was a three-horse race between Texas, California, and Indiana. I think a lot of people had California as the favorite to win, but it was the Longhorns, their 16th national championship. What changed and what sparked you guys to go into that week and have an incredible week and capture the national championship?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you win a championship, it starts at the beginning of the year, just building that culture. We had a team of new guys, and when the year first started, we had a lot of talent, but we didn't have the cohesion we had at the end of the year. And you think swimming's like an individual sport, but we had to really bond as a team to be able to push each other every day in practice to be able to get to that point. So, it started with the belief that we could win, and we had the talent, but we were able to build that culture over time. And I think just what helped us win wasn't talking about winning the championship. It was getting out there on those, Tuesday mornings when nobody was watching and we were pushing each other. So, it was awesome to be able to win, 4 years ago as a freshman, winning a championship, and then winning 4 years later as a senior is just a dream come true. I really wanted to win another championship and just really happy that things turned out that way. And, I would say what made the difference was just everybody pushing each other in practice and having that great team culture that Bob Bowman was able to establish, and we were able to work together to get there.
So Texas obviously wins the championship. You have Florida in fourth, Tennessee in fifth, Georgia seventh. So four SEC teams in the top 10. Obviously, the inaugural season for Texas and the SEC. Did you feel a difference in events competing in the SEC versus the Big 12? And do you think that played a factor in you guys winning the championship at all?
I think so. I think the SEC meet was really elite. We never experienced anything like that coming from the Big 12. And I think it really tuned us up to be able to swim at NCAAs because the SECs was so fast this year. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers and statistics on it. You said 4 of the top 10 teams are from the SEC, but probably 50% of the best swimmers in the NCAA were in the SEC. So that meet was very fast. It took really quick times to make it back, and that prepared everyone to swim at NCAAs. I think at SECs, we had a couple guys that would make it into a B heat and then swam faster times at night. But at NCAAs, you can't do that because to win the NCAA swimming championship, you got to swim well in the morning to seed the guys into the finals and be in the A and B finals. So I think we learned from that experience. We were really sharp in the morning at NCAAs, and we were really sharp at night too. I think Bob prepared everyone on the team to swim well in finals and to swim well in multiple sessions this year because of just the amount of lactate practices we did where we worked on getting our lactate up and then trying to maintain that, keep swimming fast. So just those really tough practices fueled us to be able to swim multiple sessions because the NCAA swimming championship is a 7-session meet. So, you can't just be good for one session. You got to be good for all of them. So, and that's what we did.
First year with Bob Bowman as the new head coach. I have to say, you're kind of spoiled, David. You go from Eddie Reese, the most legendary swimming coach, definitely, and Longhorn Lower. You go from him to Bob Bowman, who's probably one of the best swimming coaches on the planet currently. What's the difference in their coaching styles? Obviously, it both works considering you won a national championship with Eddie and you won one with Bob.
Yeah, I figured you would ask this. And what I would say is, you can't replace Eddie Reese. I love him, and he's one of the most successful coaches in U.S. history, but Bob is also in his own right. So I would say, the biggest difference is both the practices are really hard. There's no doubt about that. But I would say Bob tends to be more organized, and that doesn't mean that Eddie's not a good coach, but Eddie would kind of come in and watch practice and see how people looked and build his practice from there. But Bob kind of has this master plan at the beginning of the week, and they both work really well. I think Eddie was really, really good at communicating with people and knowing how to deal with the alumni and, the parents. And Bob's also good with that, but it's just kind of impossible to replace the person that Eddie is. And that's what makes him so great. But Bob in his own right is also tremendous. And I'm just really glad that we got him to be the head coach because we needed a big marquee coach to be with this program. And we've won 15 national championships, and this was number 16. So, Eddie's legacy of having 15 national championships is super tough to replace, but we have the best coach in the world in Bob Bowman here. And it's been awesome watching to see him go to work and the guys really buy into his system. And I would say everybody on the team really believed in Bob's coaching, and everyone believed we could go fast because they trusted Bob's coaching plan. So, it was tremendous to be coached by him this year. And yeah, you're right. I'm totally spoiled to have both of those coaches, and it's an honor.
Not many athletes can say they've won 2 national championships with 2 different coaches. How different was the one you won in 2021 as a freshman compared to the one you just won in 2025? Obviously,
yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think coming in my freshman year in 2020, it was a different year with the COVID, right? And it felt like the whole year was leading up to this kind of Texas and Cal duel that we've seen since probably 2011. It's been Texas and Cal at the top. And, maybe an Arizona State or a Michigan mixed in there when they won a championship. But it was pretty much the whole year getting ready to race Cal. But this year it was a 3-team race and getting ready to race Indiana. And I think this year each team picked up new people at a midseason. And that's what made it interesting it's not free agency, but just with NIL. That my freshman year was the last year where we didn't have NIL. And having NIL in this year's NCAA has really affected things. I mean, we went from finishing 7th last year to winning the title this year. I mean, that's super rare in swimming. I mean, in other sports, you see more turnover, but swimming tends to be more consistent. But I think what made this year's swimming NCAA team race really fun to watch was that there were 3 teams with a very legitimate chance to win, and it was very close. But in previous years, you don't really see that. It's just one team that you probably know is going to win, or it could be a Texas-Cal rivalry. But this year, it was a lot of teams mixed in there. And as far as just the feeling between the first and the second one, the first one was a ton of fun but I did it with a completely new group of guys. I mean, Kobe Carroza and I were the only ones to be a part of both teams. So this is a new time in Texas swimming. We have a lot of really good younger swimmers on the team. And my freshman year, I was swimming with a completely different group of older swimmers. So my freshman year, I was the real young guy. And this year I was kind of the veteran. So I was able to experience 2 different teams. And I would say this year is probably sweeter because I had to wait 4 more years to get back there. And after everything that our team went through, but both were special in their own right. But yeah, this year felt different because it was different guys. And it was a big journey to get to this point. I mean, we finished 2nd in 2022, 3rd in 2023, and 7th in 2024. So, we were slipping down in the rankings. And then after we got Bob and were able to find people in the portal, we were able to win again. And I think it's not only is this a testament to what Bob has done after he's got here, but also the work that Eddie had on a lot of the guys on our team that were sophomores that he developed last year, because those guys were really key to helping us win. And Eddie was able to develop those guys. So it was, even though this year was big, it was years and years of work to be able to get back to this point. And, I dreamed of days like this the last 4 years when we couldn't win, and we finally got there. So it was awesome.
How do you think 2025 will shape up for Texas? Because you still have another year left, right?
I do, yeah. You mean the 2020 next season in 2025, 2026?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right now I would say we definitely have the best chance of winning because we're returning the most points. And I'm super excited for that too, because we've got a whole new group of swimmers coming in. We just got 2 Aggies that are transferring into Texas that committed a couple of days ago, and they're super elite swimmers. And so we're excited to have them. And we also have some really good high school, 2 American high school swimmers coming in, and we have 3 really good European swimmers coming in. So I'm excited to train with them. And I think next year we have a very good chance to win, and it would be awesome to go back to back and kind of, rekindle a Texas dynasty. So I'm really, really looking forward to next year. And I know just with me personally, I didn't swim bad at the NCAAs, but didn't have the individual meet that I hoped for. And I figured out what I personally did wrong, completely separate from the team success. And I spent the last 2 weeks already working on that, already getting back to things. And I'm hoping to make worlds this summer and then just swim a lot better next year and, score even more points for the team. So even though we won last year, I took the team success, super happy about that, but then came back more motivated about myself and working on a lot of things already that I'm going to be better at next year.
Well, individually, you've had a lot of success as well. You were the 2024 Olympian in the Paris Olympics. And first off, what was that experience like for yourself, being able to not only qualify for the Olympics, but be able to compete? You're in Paris, but also I know you and a lot of other athletes also were dealing with a lot of sickness going around. What was your experience overall like in the Summer Olympics last year?
Yeah, despite having COVID, it was an awesome experience. I think my favorite part was just being on the boat ride with at the opening ceremony and getting to meet so many of the NBA players that I grew up watching, and just other athletes there and being able to respect that. I mean, swimming in the Olympics, having COVID, I didn't do great personally, but I was super happy to be there and race. I got to watch a lot of cool swimming, especially once I got over my illness. And I mean, being at training camp was a lot of fun because we went to Croatia before we went to Paris for a couple weeks. And being in Croatia, out by the water and Rijeka and doing stuff out there and hanging with the team was a lot of fun. And, making the team itself at trials was awesome because I barely made the team on the last day. So I was the very last person to make it. And that was super exciting because it was up in the air whether I was going to make it or not. And, qualifying on that night and getting out of the pool, being able to sign all those autographs and take a lot of photos and being lifted up from under the pool to celebrate making the team was awesome. I mean, that's things I dreamed of as a kid. So I'm just really happy that I don't have to wait 3 more years to be an Olympian. So, it was an awesome experience, and it's given me a lot of learning experience and motivation to try to come back in LA and win the gold. But I mean, ultimately it was awesome being there. And it would be awesome to have the Olympics in LA. And I think just having that in home soil, we can bring so many people out there to support me and all the other athletes. So I just got to do my work and make it.
I think you sent me a video or a photo from when you're on the boat in France. What was that river? What was the river called? They had to completely clean up.
Yeah, it was. Man,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
I can't remember the name. I think
it's on the tip of my tongue.
And it's you next to LeBron James. I mean, there's NBA athletes that we all have watched, but then there's LeBron James who's in a different tier. I mean, that must have been kind of like a "what am I doing here" type moment.
Yeah. It was the Seine River, and it was super cool. I got to talk to Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, and kind of show them what it was like when I was at their games trying to get their autograph 6 years ago. And I talked to Kevin Durant about what it was like to be at Texas, and sat next to him on the boat for a bit, and then got to meet a lot of other cool athletes. I met Noah Lyles and Tyrese Halliburton and Anthony Edwards, and I met a lot of really cool volleyball players and rowers and divers, and just those people were super nice. And tremendous experience. And just being up there with them was definitely an experience to take in, because it's not every day you get to be in the same vicinity as LeBron James or someone of that magnitude. So it was awesome. And it was called the Seine River, and I was actually I didn't do the 10-kilometer race. I was supposed to do a 10-kilometer race in the Seine, which probably wouldn't have been a good idea anyway because it was so infested with viruses. But I couldn't swim for 2 hours. I'd never even done a 10K before, but they told me I could do it because I qualified in the longest race in the pool. And we only had one guy that actually made the 10-kilometer race. And so he actually did it. But, I could have done it, which would have been a fun experience. But with where my health was at that point, I probably could have come down with something worse, and maybe it's for the better I didn't do it, but I'll try to do it in LA.
Did those who competed in the Seine River, did they come back sick at all?
I think a few people did. I don't know if anyone officially got any crazy virus, but I know there were a lot of people that were hospitalized after. So it was just an awful situation, and it just stinks that the politics from France got into that. That's not what the Olympics should be. So, I'm sure it'll be better in LA and everything.
I know you were sick a lot during the Olympics, and I know you watched some other swimming meets, but any other sports, any events that you attended while you were in Paris that stood out to you? Did you catch any ping pong and any basketball?
Well, yeah, you mentioned ping pong. I didn't get to attend any live events, which is what I want to do more of in LA, because I had to leave after my race was over, which was the last day of the swimming meet, which kind of stinked. But I got to meet the only table tennis player from the U.S. I met him in the Team USA quarters because we were both taking an ice bath, and so I got to talk to him a lot about his journey in table tennis. And he's actually played for a couple different countries, and so I actually have been keeping up with him and watching. He's still training hard and making progress, and so it's funny you mentioned that. I actually got to meet some of them, and I didn't get to go to any live events that I really wanted to. I really wanted to go to that final basketball game, but I had to leave. But in LA, I'll definitely make sure to do that.
No doubt. Hey, David Johnston, thanks so much for stopping by, man, and looking forward to seeing what you do at the Summer Worlds this year, and of course next season, maybe win your third national championship.
Yeah, we'll go for it. Thanks a lot for having me, Cameron, and hook 'em.